Variety thought it would be a good idea to speak to John Boyega again about his Star Wars experience. And it's kind of concerning because he uses the wrong equation but kind of comes to the right answer. And it was actually kind of funny when I read this. I was like, "Oh my god, it's another one of the." And then I got towards the end of the article and I was like, "He kind of has the right answer though." He actually kind of has the right answer. Now look, I live in the southeast. It is pollen season. We go from summer, fall, winter pollen season. So expect tons of edits for the amount of coughing and sneezing I'm doing. It's just pollen. Everything is coated yellow. So just bear with me through this video. So Variety released this. John Boyega says Star Wars is so white that a black person existing in it is a big deal. Toxic fans were okay with us playing the friend, but we can't touch their heroes. And like I said, he has the formula wrong, but he kind of comes to the right answer. And I say kind of. We're going to read the article, I'm going to break it down, and then I'm going to talk about how right and wrong he is at the same time. So here we go. John Boyega called out Star Wars for being so white during an interview as part of a new Apple TV Plus original documentary, #1 on the call sheet. Boyega debuted as Finn in Star Wars, yes, which I thought his character in the first movie had a lot of potential to do something very serious and fun, and served as an excellent plot device to make him kind of fill the lead role character. But Disney threw that away for fucking Rey Skywalker, which was the stupidest thing I've ever heard. The Force Awakens and his reprised character in The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, his role in the sequel trilogy led to online harassment from racist and toxic Star Wars fans upset about the black actor playing a lead hero in the space franchise. But he wasn't a lead hero. He wasn't even close to it. And the racist and toxic bullshit, well, the toxic shit, yes, because they absolutely destroyed Star Wars. Disney should have never done that. It made them a ton of money because people were seal clapping because they're absolutely retarded. But the racism didn't really exist. We had more problems with Rey Skywalker than we did anything because it was kind of a Mary Sue character that they just shoehorned in to make a strong, independent female. We didn't, nobody liked that. And then they kind of made John's character, I forget what he even was now, because his character was so underwhelming as the movies went on, I just don't even care. But he had this like gay triangle romance thing with the chick and the pilot, and yeah, it just became stupid and I hated it. And toxic fans aren't toxic, they're loyal fans. They're people who actually cared about things. Unlike Disney, who will just erase anything to recreate something new for political points. I mean, that's why Disney's Snow White just failed as bad as it did. They destroyed what everybody liked to try and make some political statement that just doesn't work. Fiction works because it's fiction. Alright, so continue with the Variety article. Let me tell you, Star Wars always had the vibe of being in the most whitest elite spaces. What? Star Wars was like in the basement stashed away on the outskirts of town. Like, sure, it was a huge thing that a lot of people liked, but it was nerddom. And do we need to get into the fact that that's not something that has ever really appealed to certain cultures of the world? They've never given a shit about nerddom. Like, I'm trying to phrase this without getting my YouTube channel deleted. It's kind of rough, guys. A subculture that has always been frowned upon and pushed to the side up until recently when, you know, it became the new cool thing. You know, I was playing 40K when people were like, ew, you pay models. Like, yeah, that's a real thing. And now everybody's like, oh, 40K everywhere. Like, I hate it. I would have rather everybody gatekept it, because now it's a watched down version of itself. Anywho, going back to the Star Wars article here, it's a franchise that is so white that a black person existing in it was something.
I'm tired, boss.
Because Lando never existed. Because there were no naturally diverse characters in Star Wars ever, right? You know, it was always just the white people flying around space until Disney made Star Wars. Yeah, that's not how that worked, bro. Like I said, he gets the entire equation wrong, but somehow kind of gets to the right answer at the end of this. So just stick with me. You can always tell it's something when Star Wars fans try to say, well, we had Lando Calrissian and had Samuel L. Jackson. It's like telling me how the cookie chips are in the cookie dough. It's like they just scattered that in there, bro. Oh my god. Lando was the governor of a planet. He went from scoundrel to leading a planet, and nobody batted an eyelash. That's not like some dude who was a trash collector that they threw in there. It was a major character, and nobody had a problem with it. The original Lando was actually kind of cool as fuck. Okay, like even the Boondocks had made references to Lando being an absolute G. Like how the more that these actors talk about things, the more they don't understand anything. They're out of touch with everybody. They're okay with us playing the best friend, but once we touch the heroes, once we lead, once we trailblaze, it's like, oh my god, it's just a bit too much. They're pandering. Bro has no idea what's going on. None whatsoever. He is completely oblivious, but he kind of touches the point that I literally just made a few sentences ago. Don't touch our heroes. Don't touch the lore. It's not a hard concept. You know, we can go into the Star Wars EU and go through the entire Skywalker family tree. We can go through that. That's the thing that exists. But Disney said that's all gonna get retconned, that's all thrown out, that's none of that's ever happening, and even had to like retcon some stuff back in the Lucas made stuff. Like it's but he kind of gets the point. Don't touch your heroes. Leave the source material alone. And it's not that we have a problem with a black person being a lead. It's that Hollywood can't write that. They don't know how. They're all privileged, entitled little shits who can't figure out anything about the real world, so they just make up Fantasyland stuff that doesn't make sense. You know, Daisy Ridley, just character, Rey Skywalker, just barely surviving in the sand deserts, somehow just flies off planet and becomes the biggest hero and is now a Jedi with no training whatsoever. That's why we hated that character. Like, at least with the character of Finn, we saw like some development, right? Like he was with the new Empire, the rebranded Empire, because Disney couldn't figure out how to do anything else with the new Death Star that they couldn't make anything else up. You know, he actually had a little bit of character development. You know, it's like when they tried to shoehorn in Phasma to be the new Boba Fett, and it turned out that the random stormtrooper with the baton who yelled traitor was a bigger success than Phasma.
Traitor!
Like, Disney doesn't know how to write things. They're just trying to copy things and extract things and put modern day politics in, but they don't know how to do it. They can't write for shit. But he goes on to say, what I would say to Disney is do not bring out black character, market them to be much more important in the franchise than they are, and then have them pushed to the side. It's not good. I'll say it straight up. And I'll agree. Disney doesn't write these characters to be good characters. They write them to be throwawayable at any moment. And they have to do that because they don't know how to write them in a story. They don't know how to give them a backstory. They don't know how to give them character development. Because all they do, and all they have been doing, is pushing the DEI bullshit where everybody's just perfect and diverse and it has no struggle. That's why I said they're privileged. They don't know how to write actual struggle. They think the struggle is saying that they have the struggle. They don't understand any of it. And if we want to be honest, John Boyega wasn't edited out of the pictures in the US. He was edited out of the pictures, for the movie posters. Let me correct that. Because some people say, what are you talking about? The movie posters. He was edited out in China. But he's not talking about that now, is he? You guys knew what to do with Daisy Ridley. You know what to do with Adam Driver, Boyega continued. But when it came to Kelly Marie Tran, when it came to John Boyega, you know fuck all. Now this is what I was talking about where he's sort of right. They didn't know what to do with either of those characters. Adam Driver was just such a damn force. I didn't even mean to make that pun. Anyway, Adam Driver did a fantastic job in his role, and he actually carried Daisy Ridley through. Now again, going back to why Kelly Marie Tran's character and John Boyega's new fuck all is because they don't know how to write them. They don't know how to write anybody. You know, it's like Denzel Washington. The movie could be absolute dog shit, but Denzel is going to carry it through to the end. He's going to make it at least tolerable to watch. Unfortunately for you, You're not Denzel. Which is kind of funny that he says that Hollywood doesn't know how to write black people into stories. But I just referenced Denzel, who happens to be one of my favorite characters. And even in the new Gladiator movie, I said, you know, it's going to be absolute dog shit, but Denzel's going to fucking carry it because he's an amazing actor. But I mean, we're also delving into Disney just forcing in modern day politic talking points into characters. Like making up fake bromances and having lesbians everywhere and having your trans Django weirdos. Like, nobody wants that. Nobody cares. That's why nobody actually cared about you. Nobody actually cared about your character. There was nothing to actually link it to us other than the same thing we've had where people just walk up and slam us with a rainbow Bible and say, you have to follow this. It's like, no, why? Why would I ever do that? You have to. No, I don't. Fuck off. And I mean, he goes on to say, like, they gave all the nuance to Adam Driver and all the nuance to Daisy Ridley. The only one that actually had nuance was Adam Driver. There wasn't even a lot of nuance. Adam Driver's character had a bad dream, so Luke Skywalker tried to kill him, which makes zero fucking sense. And that's why he turned to the dark side. That wasn't nuance in any way, shape, or form. It was a bad, contrived plot device that was absolutely shit. Like, I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about with they had nuance. But again, this is why I say he kind of uses the wrong formula and like halfway gets the right answer. Like, he's so close to getting it. It's like I wish I could hold his hand and walk him through the steps so he can actually see. Because I think John Boyega could be a really good actor if he could just get somebody who knew to write and gave him a good role. He could be. He could be. But I don't think that's ever going to happen because Hollywood doesn't know how to write any good characters anymore. All they do is copy the old bullshit and they fuck up at doing that. It's not even that hard. But anyway, it was also April Fool's, so I wanted to avoid any new articles that came out today. I've already seen Smash JT falling for Master of the TDS April Fool's joke, thinking he got some crazy new story about the woke mafia. It was all April Fool's joke, and he was ready to publish that out. Yeah. So, yeah, miss me with that bullshit. But I would love to hear everybody's thoughts in the comments section, guys. While you're there, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share this one out. And until the next one, guys, be easy like sleazy.